In the autumn of 1894, while the elders of the New Hope colony were raising heavy oak timbers and thick granite foundations, Elias Thorne was dragging crates of discarded window panes and buckets of river silt toward a sun-scorched depression in the earth. The colony believed in one rule: build it heavy enough, and nothing can move you. But Elias had a different idea. He had spent years working with plants, watching how glass could trap the warmth of summer even in the dead of winter. While others built tall and rigid, Elias chose something else entirely. They called him Brittle Elias. They laughed when he refused to join the logging crews. They mocked his strange structure, calling it a dirt and glass shack. The elders refused to even recognize it as a home. Elias didn't argue. He simply ran his hand across the glass and listened to the quiet hum of sunlight passing through it. Have you ever been told your idea was too fragile to survive in a world that values strength? Elias understood something the others didn't. Wind doesn't attack strength. It attacks resistance. While the colony built upward with flat walls that blocked the wind, Elias dug down into the earth. He shaped his structure low and rounded, like a stone worn smooth by a river. He built what he called a sun trap. The north, east, and west walls were thick earth, dense, packed, and solid. These walls didn't just block the cold. They stored heat. The entire southern side was different. It was made of angled glass, layered carefully to catch the low autumn sun. During the day, sunlight poured through the glass and warmed the dark earthen walls. The walls absorbed that heat, holding it like a memory. And when the cold came, they slowly released it back into the space. Even the shape of the structure mattered. There were no sharp edges. No flat surfaces for the wind to grab. Instead of fighting the wind, Elias designed his home so the wind would glide over it. Then, on May 27, 1896, the sky changed. It turned dark and heavy, like a bruise spreading across the horizon. The air went still, completely still. And then it came. A violent, horizontal cyclone tore through the valley. The wind slammed into the colony at nearly 80 miles per hour. The tall wooden homes became sails. Roofs were ripped away. Walls collapsed. Chimneys snapped under the twisting force. Everything the elders had built to resist the world was torn apart by it. Inside the glass and earth cabin, Elias sat quietly. The structure trembled, but it held. The glass panels didn't shatter. They flexed, vibrating under the pressure. The wind struck the low, curved surface and lifted upward, sliding over the roof and disappearing behind it. There was no buildup of force. No breaking point. Just movement. Inside it was calm. His thermometer barely changed. The thick earthen walls, warmed by the sun all day, began releasing their stored heat. While the world outside was being destroyed, Elias sat in a pocket of stillness and warmth. When the storm passed and the sun rose, the valley was unrecognizable. Homes were flattened. Wood scattered like splinters across them. The survivors stepped out into the wreckage. And then they saw it. At the edge of the ridge stood a low, glowing shape. Intact. Elias stepped outside, sleeves rolled up. His home was still standing. The glass was dusty, but unbroken. The same people who had mocked him now stood in silence. They had built to resist. Elias had built to survive. He didn't say a word. He simply opened the door and invited the cold, shivering children inside, where the warmth of yesterday's sun still filled the room. The lesson is simple. In a world obsessed with strength and size, resilience often comes from something else entirely. Not resistance, but adaptation. Not force, but understanding. So ask yourself, what idea in your life have others called fragile? And what if that's the very thing that could carry you through the storm?